Hello. Hi there. My name's Paul, and I'm one of the teachers at SET English. It's really good to see you. We've only got a couple of people watching at the moment. That's fine. I think the event is supposed to begin in 1 minute time, but I seem to have come on a little bit early. Yeah, so I'm one of the teachers at SET English. Okay. And I'm here today to talk about organizing your letter. Okay, so if you're here, if you're watching, then please say hello. Put down your name in the chat box. I'd really like to see it. I'll be here to talk about organizing a letter, and also to do, answer any questions that you've got around writing. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for a few more people to come on in. Okay. Let's just wait and see what happens. Okay. We should be going live soon, guys. Just checking out here what's happening. Let's have a look at these events. Okay. Ought to be live on the OET platform at this point. Okay, good. Right, I'm here. Hello, guys. Sorry, just having a little bit of a tech issue there. I think I'm live. I think I'm here now. All right. Okay, good. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm Paul, and I can see that we've got about 33 people. Hello, Alexia. Good to see you. Hello. Nice to see you there. Wherever you are in the world, post me a message and say hello and tell me where you are. Now, Alexia, you're in South Africa. I know that because you're one of our students. It's nice to see you. Is anyone else in any other places? Okay, I've got Vijaya Lakshmi. Hello, nice to see you. Hello, Joyce. Good to see you guys. All right. Where are you all from? Where are you at the moment? We've got Sinta. Sinta's in Indonesia. Okay. Indonesia. That's a massive population, isn't it? We've got Evans from Ghana. Hello, Evans. We've got Mark. Hello, Mark. You're down in London. We've got Sue Diego in USA. Where are you from? Where are you in the USA, Sue? That'd be interesting because it's very early in the USA, isn't it? We've got May from the Philippines. Hello. Sarah from Sudan. Hello. We've got, I'm not sure what your name is from Taiwan, but hello. We've got Odunola from Nigeria. Hello. Vijaya Lakshmi, you're in Saudi. Okay, brilliant. Great. That's excellent. Nice to see you all. Okay, we've got someone from Kurdistan. Hello. Sue, you're down in Washington. Excellent. Okay, good. Now, I'm Paul. I'm one of the teachers at SET English. We're one of the all-stars. Okay. And normally the way that we teach in our live classes is very interactive. So you get the chance to speak with us and we can ask questions and do groups. But on this platform doing the all-stars, we generally just deliver a kind of presentation. So I am going to try and get you guys to give me some answers for things and give me some ideas. But I'm going to ask what your experience is. But I'm basically going to tell you about something important today. Okay, so let's go and have a look. Okay, let's have a look at the next page. Now, everyone, just quickly, just have a look at what I'm showing here. Okay, have a look at this letter. Now, this isn't a trick question. I just want you to have a look at this letter and just have a think in terms of organization. Just tell me what you think, thinking about it. And on the left here, I'm going to put some points. Okay, so just have a look. I'll give you a few seconds. Hi, Thomas from Zambia. Good to see you. Hello. Hi, Ogbonayem. Good to see you. We've got Goltza from, oh, I'm not sure what that flag is. Is it Liberia? I don't know. Hi, Sandeep. Hello, Praise. Hi, Annie Beth. So you're all just having a quick look at that letter. I'll tell you a few things about it. And then when we get to the end of this session, I'm going to show you the letter again. So let me show you a few things. One, it's clearly set out. It's clearly laid out. I think we can see that. Good. We've got good use of paragraphing. Okay. And we've got a clear paragraph function. Now, that paragraph function, that might be a phrase that you're not sure of at the moment. That's the main thing that I think you'll get from today. Okay, that's what I want to talk about. And we can also see that there are relevant case notes that are connected together. Now, someone's put here it's a referral. Okay, Panos, I don't mind that. Yeah, okay. It is a referral letter. Yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Okay, so let's remember this letter. We're going to come back later on. We'll have a look at it again. Okay, so this session is all about organization. So what do we mean? What do we mean by organization? Have a think for a few seconds. What do we mean by organization? Okay, it's one of the criteria in OET writing, organization and layout. What do we mean by it? Hi, Samuel from Swaziland. Good to see you. Hello, Mishek from Zambia. Good to see you. Right. So just type in the chat box. What do you think organization means? Just type in the chat. I'm going to try and get you to type in the chat box for me today. Hi, Koshalya from Sri Lanka. Good to see you. Does anyone have any idea what is organization? Can you put it into words? Panos has said paragraphs. Yeah, I like that idea. Iman says to put information in the right order. Yeah, I think that's a really good, two very good points. Yeah. Anything else, or is that it? Now, the way OET look at it is a little bit different to that. It's a bit more detailed. So let me show you. Okay. I'm going to split my screen into two parts. Arranging paragraphs of same contents. Zun, I love that. That's brilliant. Pooja, systematic arrangement. Brilliant. Rahan, proper way of writing in order. Yeah, that's good. So how do we do that? We do that by, one, thinking about paragraph organization. So that means using paragraphs. I know that sounds strange, but sometimes we see letters that are submitted to our marking team, one big block. Okay, so use paragraphs. Yeah, that's good. So paragraphing. Clearly defined paragraph types. Okay, I mentioned paragraph function before. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then the logical organization of case notes into paragraphs. Okay, so we use paragraphs, we use certain types of paragraphs, and then we get the case notes and we put them into the correct paragraphs. It sounds simple, but that's important. That's a basic foundation of OET writing. Okay, the next part is something that maybe you don't think about as much, and it's called intra-paragraph organization. Now, I'm not really going to be focusing too much on that today. It takes a lot to teach that kind of thing. But basically what I mean is logically sequencing case notes inside the paragraphs. So when you decide I'm going to put these case notes into this paragraph, it's logically sequenced, okay? And not just following the order of the case notes. Okay, not just, now that one takes a bit of teaching. You have to look at a number of different tasks and show how it happens. But a quick example would be sometimes in the at the end, it will say that there's a number of different things for the future. And it will say a couple of different things that we're asking the reader to do and a couple of things that might just be being done. Okay. Now, you need to be able to identify which ones the reader is doing and which ones are just being done. And what happens often is, if it starts with something the reader's doing and then something that will be done and then something that will be done and then something that reader needs to do, quite often what happens is people just write those in that order in their paragraph. And that is not very good intra-paragraph organization. That's just following the case notes. We're asking you to make relevant connections between different case notes. All right, okay, so that's what organization is. Okay, now at SET English, we connect three important things together. And we don't really separate organization out from two other things which are very important. So organization is a process. On the page in a moment, I'm going to put three steps that help us to make sure that we can be very clearly organized. If you had to choose 3 steps, what would they be? Type them into the chat box, guys, if you've got any ideas about how you find your organization. Or maybe if you only have 2 steps, I don't mind. Maybe you've just got 1 step. I'd just like to hear what those steps are and see if they're the same as ours. Okay, so I'll just wait for you guys to pop that into the chat box for me. Hello, praise, good to see you. Hello, Rihan. I'm using my SET English All-Stars Cup here, very generously provided by OET. Have we got any ideas about what the organization process is? How you think about it? I'm not sure that we've got, I'm not sure anyone's confident enough to say what it is. Maybe you don't really think about it. Okay, well, I think that you should really think about it. Okay, and here's my advice. I'm going to put 3 steps on the screen now. Okay. Panos, very similar. Yeah. 1, find the purpose. 2, choose your content. 3, organize the content into paragraphs. All right, that's the process. If you have this process, then you will have an organized letter at the end, provided you identify the purpose correctly, you identify the right content, then what you'll have at the end is a well-organized letter with a clear purpose and the right content. That's how we teach it at SET English. Now, those first 2 steps, finding the purpose and choosing the content, I'm not going to go through those in too much detail today. I'm going to go over them briefly and then go into a little bit more detail into the paragraphing. Okay, let's just have a look at what we've got in the chat box here. Highlight key information, yes. Purpose, present, current situation. And man, you're sort of getting closer there. And then Pooja, identify the relevance of case notes, clubbing them together. Yeah, I suppose we all just say similar things in different language, don't we? But what I'll talk a little bit about finding purpose, a little bit about choosing content, and I'll give you a bit of advice on it. Okay, so I'm going to be asking you to help me a little bit here. All right, so how do you find the purpose? I'm going to predict a few different things that you do to find the purpose. So just type in the chat box how you find the purpose, and I wonder if I can predict what they are. Okay, so type into the chat box how you find the purpose. I'll just give you a few seconds. I know it's little things like this can take time to think about. Just type in how you do it. Okay, so Pooja from the writing task. Okay, I like it. That makes sense, yeah. From the writing task first, from Panos, yeah. A lot of people are saying from the writing task. Okay, read the task. I did think that everyone would tell me that. Yeah, okay. Can anyone think of anything else that you might do to find the purpose? Yeah, the type of letter. Okay, we've got that. Okay, now we've got it. Praise. Okay. The discharge plan, or what we're asking people to do for us, can often be included in the latest date. Yeah. And yeah, read the discharge plan, etc. Okay, brilliant. Well done. That's good. I'm pleased to see that. Now, what I would say is, yes, all of these things are useful. Yes, they are all useful, but I've got some advice. Okay, because I don't think that doing this gets you to a full understanding. Remember that what we're trying to do here is get to an organized letter. To get to an organized letter, we find the purpose, we choose the content, we write, we organize that logically in paragraphs. Okay, so how do we do it? Here's my advice. 1, have a strategy. So I know a lot of people here are quite enthusiastic. I'm not sure how successful you've been so far in your writing. Maybe if you're watching this class, maybe you're either doing it because you want to know if you're doing the right thing, or you're not really finding much success and you need to improve. Okay, we have a strategy for finding purpose at SET. And as I said, we don't separate purpose, content, and organization. We basically have a strategy that enables us to do all three. And it involves asking yourself in your planning at the beginning of your letter, it involves asking yourself 6 questions. Now, you might think 6 questions is a lot. I'll never remember them, but they're very logical questions. It involves things like, who are we writing to? Why am I writing today? What am I asking them to do? Is it urgent? We've got a couple of other questions as well. As I said, today is not a day for us to teach how we find the purpose. Anybody can join us, obviously, and go through that with us. We do that all the time in our writing weeks and our writing classes. But have a strategy. Don't just approach every letter in a different way every time. Okay? And this last one, somebody's already mentioned this. Okay? Don't rely on simple ideas like letter type. Okay? As far as SET are concerned, we never teach discharge letter, update letter, referral letter. We don't teach those because ultimately they're very limited in how they can help you. A very quick difference would be something like, let's say it's a referral letter. And in example 1, we're referring someone for assessment and diagnosis. And in the second letter, we're referring them for surgery. Okay, so in the first one, we don't know what the problem is. We might suspect, we might have a provisional diagnosis or something like that, but we're asking the other person to make a decision. For them to make a decision, they need all of the information about the buildup of their symptoms, how long things have taken, any different treatments that we've done, etc. If we're sending them over for surgery, then the diagnosis is already confirmed. Everything that we've done so far has led us to this point. We don't need to give all of the detail about all of their admission and presentation symptoms because we've already decided what the approach is going to be. So that's two very different things, but they're both called referral letters. However, the way you choose content will be very different for those letters. So don't rely on a simple idea like letter type. It will get you into trouble. Okay? Let's talk about content. How do you choose content? Well, I'll predict how you choose content, okay? It depends on the letter type. That's one way that you might be thinking about it. Okay. I love this from Panos. There is no template. Excellent. I include it if it's relevant. Wow. Okay. Now, I think that that's a really big issue. I include content if it's relevant. So what does relevant mean? That's a hard one, is it? Is it really as simple as that? It's relevant or it's not? We don't think it is. At SET English, we don't think that it's as simple as relevant or irrelevant. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then some people say, I always include this, I never include that. I don't think that's very helpful. Okay, so these 3 things here. Okay, I can understand why you choose to do it this way, but I don't think that it's really the best way to think about it. Let me give you some advice. Okay. Remember, guys, this is not a class about purpose and content, but at SET English, we can't separate purpose and content from organization. So I have to talk about it a little bit. Okay, first, choose your content based on the specific task, not on letter type. Look at this situation. Who am I writing to? What am I asking them to do exactly? That's important. Okay. What is the context for this task? Not it's a discharge plan, I always do this. That doesn't work. Secondly, don't be inflexible. Okay, that idea of I always include this, I never include that. Don't be black and white about things. Okay. It's better to have a way of thinking about OET writing than some kind of template. Because if you try and use some kind of template, it will not work. Instead, you need to have the right way of thinking about it. And ultimately, everything we choose that we put into a letter should be based on one simple thing. What does the reader need to know to do their job? Okay, what does the reader need to know? Not this is a discharge letter, I'll put this in. This is a referral letter, I'll put this in. That doesn't work. So don't be inflexible. Always think, what does the reader need? Last, understand the difference between relevant, irrelevant, and unnecessary. Okay, just have a quick think about those things. Relevant, irrelevant, unnecessary. So I'll give you an example of relevant. Somebody has got pneumonia. Okay. It's relevant to include presenting symptoms such as things like fever, nausea, shortness of breath. Okay, that's relevant. We all agree that. An example of something irrelevant would be that they had a broken leg 2 years ago. And I think that we can all really easily understand those two things. But unnecessary, it's not really the same as irrelevant. Okay, let me give you an example. The patient was admitted with pneumonia 2 weeks ago. Today, they're being discharged back to their care home. Now think about the condition that they're in. They no longer need acute care. The antibiotics that they started 2 weeks ago have subsequently finished. Should I include the antibiotics in my letter? Are they relevant? Are they irrelevant? Are they unnecessary? You tell me. The patient did a course of antibiotics, which is finished. They did that 2 weeks ago. They're being discharged today. Should I tell the nurse about those antibiotics? Do you think? Just a simple yes or no. I'll just wait a moment for people to catch up. Okafor thinks it's irrelevant. Okay, Russell thinks it's relevant. Okay, interesting. We've got a few no's. We've got some yeses. Okay, we seem to be a bit split. Well, you know what I think, guys? I think that it is relevant. It is relevant. You know, this is treatment that they had for their pneumonia. It is relevant. It's not a broken leg. It's not completely disconnected. But I don't think it's necessary. Okay? Because I'm not asking the nurse to continue or monitor the antibiotics. The antibiotics are finished. Okay? Now, what you might mention in your letter is that they underwent a course of antibiotics. I don't mind that. But what I don't want is she was started on a specific antibiotic, which she took every day, twice a day, it was this milligram. That would be unnecessary. Okay. So I think it's really important to understand whether things are relevant, irrelevant, unnecessary, depending on this task. Okay, it depends on this task. So that's my advice. Okay, so in terms of purpose and content, don't be inflexible. Always look at the specific task to choose what you think you need to do. Have a strategy which you use every single time, and always plan. Don't just start writing a letter. Okay, some people, they just open the task, they read it for 5 minutes and they just write the introduction immediately. I don't think that's a good idea. I think take 10 or 15 minutes to prep. 30 minutes is a very long time to write 180 words. And if you were writing 180 words about your family, your favorite football team, a meal that you can cook, you do it in 10 minutes. Okay, it's about the thing that makes it time consuming to write the OET task is the organization and the planning. So let's move on then and talk about organizing my letter. Now, we've got a very simple approach at SET English. It's not a template. Okay, as I've already explained, it's not a template. It's even more simple than that, because when you go to an exam with a template, you spend a lot of time trying to make everything fit into your template. That's a terrible idea. Instead, what we've got is an approach that's up here, how you think about your letter, and the tools that you can use to organize it. Now, what we would suggest is that you have a set of paragraphs with clear functions that you can use to organize your letter. How you use them is your choice. All right, it's your choice. Just like because, despite, these are tools that connect case notes together. You don't have to use despite, you don't have to use because, you don't have to use it in this paragraph or that paragraph. They're just tools that you use to help you connect case notes together. Well, it's the same with these paragraph types. Okay, so I'm going to go through now and just go through it, and so we understand what the paragraph types are. Okay, and at the end, I will also explain that you don't only have to use these ones. All right, so number one, introduction. I'm going to give you the definition of this one, and for the others, you're going to give me the definition. So introduction, a brief summary of the situation and what is required from the reader. This paragraph always goes first. Now, if you've ever registered with SET, you can get your you can come and have a look at the OET skills course, which is completely free. We talk about something called the sandwich, and this is the first piece of bread, the top piece of bread in the sandwich. Okay, so it's a brief summary of the situation and what's required from the reader. Next, timeline. Now, can anyone tell me what the timeline paragraph is? Tell me if you can write down what you think it is. Okay, just a brief idea in the chat box would be good. What's the timeline paragraph? Now, we can go into a lot of detail about all of these paragraphs. You know, in our writing at the moment, we're going through looking at errors for each type at 9 a.m. Current events, okay, the series of events. Now, JSON, I'm a little bit more on JSON than Pooja there. The series of events. Sequence, okay. Here's my definition. The beginning of the current situation up to the present. Okay, so let's say that someone's having an asthma attack. Okay, I'm not going to start with when they were diagnosed. I'm going to start with when these symptoms of this situation began. So the beginning of the current situation up to the present, and the next one's really easy. Current. So I think, Pooja, this is what we're talking about. The situation at present. Okay, these could be things like vital signs, test results. It could be what the symptoms this person has at the moment. Okay. Then we've got background. Okay, background. Medical or social information you consider relevant to the situation. And finally, we've got the request, the end of the sandwich. Can you give me the definition, please? What do you think a request paragraph is? Maybe you've not heard these words before. Maybe you've never organized your writing in this way. But this is how we teach it at SET English, and we've got really good record. Okay. What's the request? Recommendation, Jason? Yeah, recommendation. Yeah, they can be in there. True. It's a bit stronger than that, though, isn't it? A request and a recommendation. If I said to you, I recommend that you clean the kitchen before I get back tonight. It's not the same as please clean my kitchen before I get back tonight. And what you want the receiving party to do with your patient, I like that. That's good. Tell the reader what to do next. Zun, that's good. Okay, here's my definition. A detailed purpose, including what we want the reader to do. Excellent, thank you. I think it's Gyan. And events, activities which affect the future. So think about it. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. You might have 3 or 4 things that you want the reader to do, monitor this, assist with that. But then also, maybe an appointment has been organized for the future, for when some stitches will be removed or there's a follow-up blood test or something. We're not asking them to do it, but it's important to mention. If we put those things in the last paragraph, this is the end of the sandwich, okay? It means that it will be easy for the reader to remember. Okay, so thanks, guys. Thanks for all of the different answers and ideas there. That's great. Okay, so this is basically what we work with at SET English. These are the tools. These are the paragraph types that we have. So we go through, get the purpose, we choose our content, and we apply that content to these paragraphs. That's the idea. And then what we do is we stick to those paragraphs, and we don't mix different things. So we don't put the current information in the background. We don't put the background information in the introduction. We don't put the request in the timeline. We keep them separate. And the way that we review the writing of our students is quite focused on that. The reason why is because we're asking the reader to do something for us. We've got to make it as clear as possible, because we don't want them ringing up and asking, hi, Paul, what did you mean in this? You sort of mixed up stuff from the past and the present. I'm not sure. Okay. But after we've analyzed case notes and we've assigned them to paragraph types, we might find that we have to do something a little bit different. Okay. It might be an emergency. If it's an emergency, then maybe we need to take the current condition and start with that. All right. In other situations, we need to be flexible. Maybe there isn't any background. Maybe there's a lot of medication, but not much background. Maybe we're writing to someone that doesn't need background. Okay. We always consider who we're writing to. Maybe the timeline and the current can go together because there isn't that much of it. Okay. So let's finish. Okay, let's finish. Let's go back and look at this letter again. This is the letter that we began the session with. And we said that it was well organized. It was clearly set out. But how? Okay, the first paragraph, look at that arrow. We know that's the introduction, don't we? Okay, what's the next one? What's the next paragraph type? Just wait for people to give me some answers. What's the next paragraph type after the introduction in this letter? Yeah, Exactly. We've got timeline, paragraph. Okay. Next one is, what do we think the next one is? Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Gyan. Thank you, Rihan. What's the next paragraph? Looks like some people have got quicker connections than other people, I think. Yes, praise, timeline. Yeah, Rihan, excellent. Praise, it is. It's the current condition, isn't it? That's what we're doing next, current. Okay, what's the one after that? To be honest, it's been given away in the paragraph, hasn't it? The word. We've got the background, haven't we? And then we finish, okay, we finish with the request. Now, this is just a typical model letter that we would get from one of our writing weeks. So all of these paragraphs have been written by students in our school. And it's just a typical kind of thing that we do. Okay. So in terms of organization, you find the purpose, you choose your content, and you have these paragraph tools. And if you put those three things together, you've got an organization process. And that means you've got the basis of a plan. And now you can take that plan, you can say, yes, I think this is a good plan. And now you can go and write. And that means that you can focus on using your really good English and the things that you've been practicing, like your contrast, addition, results, and causes, the passive, the different tenses. Okay. That's where you can go and focus on those things and remember that it's an English exam. Okay, so I'm Paul, and I'm one of the teachers at SET English. Okay, that's who we are. You can come and find us. I'll show our website for you now. It's here. Okay, and I'll also post it into the chat after we've finished. Okay, here it is. Okay, setenglish.com. I'll post the link in there. Just come and have a look at some of the courses. If you've got any questions, you can fill out this form and let us know. If you're in the UK, we'll be happy to give you a call if you want to talk about it. Also, have a look at our free course. It's here. Okay, just click this button on our website. Go and have a little look. Enroll. There's stuff about listening, writing, speaking, and reading there. Okay, so if you've got any questions, if you want a little copy of that, or if you want to ask any questions about anything, you can either post them in the chat box or you can get in touch with us via that contact form, and we'll be back again soon. Okay, so it was really nice to see you all. I hope you have a fantastic day. Okay, and I'm sure I will. I'm going to go and do some teaching now myself. I'm going to be doing error correction in terms of organization in people's letters. That's my next class in about 20 minutes. Okay, so have a great day, everyone, and take care. All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.